Boston Red Sox have a huge disparity between the rankings. Fangraph says 14th in baseball. I say 25th in baseball heading into next year. The goals for this year is to kind of make the playoffs. They are the worst team in the AL East. Everyone's saying they are going to be the last place team, and I agree. They just don't have that much pitching, and I think just they're in such a difficult division. Key additions, though, were Lucas Giolito, but he got elbow surgery. He should be out for the year, or is expected to be out for the entire season. They added Liam Hendriks, who, he had Tommy John surgery, and he had cancer. It might be difficult for him to get back to, he was the best closer in baseball for a couple of years there. I don't know that he'll get back to that. CJ Cron, a solid power bat. Michael Fulmer, not a bad pickup as well. They lost James Paxton, Adam Duvall, and Adalberto Mondesi, who are all solid guys. They also lost Corey Kluber, who retired. Justin Turner went to the Blue Jays, and he was a very solid hitter a year ago. They also traded away Chris Sale, but they did bring in Tyler O'Neill from the Cardinals, which is not a bad pickup. They also traded away Verdugo and Luis Urias to the Mariners. They did not, and they brought in Vaughn Grissom from the Chris Sale trade, and they extended Brian Bayo. Those were their big things of the offseason. Speaking of the starting rotation, Nick Pivetta was pretty solid in his short time in the rotation, but he hasn't proven it a few years in a row. Pivetta is not a good starting pitcher, in my opinion. Maybe he is, but I think he's a 5-starter at best. You got Brian Bayo, who I think is actually pretty solid. Just got an extension. They obviously believe in him. He had a 1.07 ERA plus, a 4.24 ERA, a 4.54 WHIP. I think he's a very, very solid player with the potential to be an ace one day. Cutter Crawford, in my opinion, who Fangraphs has him as starting pitcher 3. My opinion, he's going to be the ace of this staff. I mean, he may not be an ace, but he had an expected, according to Baseball Savant, his expected ERA was 3.25. Expected batting average against him was a 208. Every time I saw him pitch, he looked really good. He doesn't have crazy pitches. He doesn't have a disgusting curveball or an amazing sweeper or throw super hard, but he limits the walks. He limits the hard hits. I think Cutter Crawford, given a full season to start, can be and will be the best pitcher of this pitching staff. Tanner Houck just needs to stay healthy. He has shown that he's solid, and then Garrett Whitlock, because of the Giolito injury, jumps into the rotation. You got a name named Wickelman Gonzalez, who apparently is a potential starting pitcher who can get called up. You also have Brian Mata, who's going to be 25 in a little bit. Strained hamstring injury, but he should be back at some point, and he might end up jumping into the rotation. You got a couple really old guys in the back end of the bullpen, and Kenley Jansen and Chris Martin, who are both not bad players. I just think they're older and then they're a little bit less reliable. At catcher, they have Connor Wong and Reese McGuire. I think it's not a bad catcher duo. I don't think it's elite by any means. I don't think you're shocking the world and having an all-star out of there, but I think it's okay. Tristan Casas was, I believe, second or third in Rookie of the Year voting a year ago, and he's really good. He's a very, very solid player. I think he has the potential to be one of the better first basemen in the league in a couple years when Freeman and Goldschmidt and some of those other guys get older. He had an 856 OPS, a 129 OPS plus. He had 24 homers. He was very, very solid a year ago, and his BABIP was 317, which is somewhat sustainable. Tristan Casas is probably the second best hitter on this team behind Rafael Devers. Second base projected as Emmanuel Valdez. I really don't have much to say about him. I don't think he's that elite. I think he's okay. Same thing with Pablo Reyes, who's probably going to be kind of like a platoon there. At third base, you got Rafael Devers. He's an amazing hitter. He's one of the best third basemen in baseball. But that's pretty much it. Trevor Story has really been injured all the time. Since he's been consistently injured since arriving in Boston. And I think that he could come back to his old self from Colorado. Maybe not like that because Coors Field, but I think Trevor Story could be solid at shortstop this upcoming year if he could stay healthy. In left field, Tyler O'Neill, projected in left. He's really solid. He's actually very good. 2021, he had like a 931 OPS, somewhere around there. His walk rate went up, and his contact rate went up. If he can get his power back, he could be really good. Foolish Baseball, in his video, Foolish Bailey said he's going to be one of the better hitters in baseball this year. He's going to improve this year. Wilyer Abreu is no longer on Fangraph's outfield list. They have Ceddanne Raphael and Jarren Duran. Interesting. I don't know why. Wilyer Abreu is a very good hitter, in my opinion. Ceddanne Raphael is a prospect. He has been called up, and he's projected to start in center field, apparently. I think that's going to be Jarren Duran, who I think could disappoint some people, outperform some of his expected stats. I think he's more of an average hitter. There's also Vaughn Grissom, who got injured, who's actually probably projected at second base or shortstop, potentially, who I think could disappoint because a lot of people are expecting him to be really good. And then you have Yoshida, who's about what he is, a solid hitter. That's that. Wilyer Abreu was really good in 28 games a year ago, an 862 OPS, a 132 OPS, plus he hit only 2 homers, but in 28 games, it's fine. His BABIP was a little high, but I think Wilyer Abreu could be a Rookie of the Year potential guy. I really believe in Wilyer Abreu. That being said, I think this team's going to win 74 games, lose 88, which is 4 worse than last year. They lose James Paxton. I just don't really believe in this team that much, and I think in a difficult division, some teams just kind of have to get worse than they were before. I think they're going to win. My over-under was 79. Vegas said 79.5. I would bet the under on 79.5.